Hey guys. So,
we recorded this episode, and we got a little off track with some adult content. So if you're a child, you need to go away
should
right
probably
now.
skip this one.
Let's skip this one. Also, if you are not a fan of adult content, you should probably skip this one. You're not going to miss anything. I finished the sweater. That's all you got. Yeah. Leslie finished two sweaters.
I finished a couple. One doesn't fit. Yeah.
Spoiler. So this might be, if this is your first time watching us,
this isn't a good one to start with.
This is not a good one to start with, and this is not indicative of us as a whole, I would say. But
we got a little bit off topic, and the conversation just got a little more
our everyday lives than you probably needed to know. So there's that.
If you're still willing to watch, thanks.
Enjoy life and enjoy the episode. If not, we'll see y'all next week, and nothing will be changing. Alright, bye y'all. Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 405. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. It is Monday, August 27th, 2018.
It's the last day of Stash Dash.
It is the last day of Stash
Dash. It's also Pearl's Gotcha Day. Gotcha Day, like I adopted her today.
2 years ago today.
2 years ago today. Like, she's been living in my house for 2 years. So if I didn't get her 2 years ago, she's just like a free rider.
An expensive free rider.
Dude, she's super expensive.
I got nothing.
You got nothing on that?
Sorry.
That's all there was?
Usually we're pretty good at filling the silences with insanity, but not today. Not today, apparently. My brain, I took a nap because Laura was going to be later than she is.
I totally got someone else to do volleyball book for me.
Yeah, and Michael came and woke me up. He's like, I think Laura's looking for you.
Because I texted you, and then you didn't respond, and I was like, I bet she's napping. So I texted Michael, and I said, is Leslie napping? And his response was, oh no, she's up. Because he got you up.
So he lied for me. Yeah.
That's nice.
I had laid down at like 5, so I'd been napping for over an hour already. So it's time for me to get up.
That's a good nap.
So knitting. Would you like to go, or do you want me to
go? It really doesn't matter. Are you in a place where you can go? Because I'm knitting round and round and round.
That's what I'm doing too.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I cast on. I went to a football game Thursday night. My 8th graders had their first game of the season, so I cast on another wee pumpkin hat. So this is the pumpkin hat. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. I'm using some hand spun. I'm hoping I can get 2 out of this still. This will be my 3rd and 4th. This is old hand spun. This is superwash merino from at least 5 years ago. So it's doing its dues. It's already been 2 pumpkin hats, one of which I showed last week. But yeah, it is the season for pumpkin hats. Although if you wait till September 15th, then you can put them in our Halloween cal.
Craft all the things.
Yeah, cat, I should say. Craft all the things.
Laura's so sick, sort of. She's got like a summer cold.
Yeah. Thanks, kids. Everyone at my school either has this or they have strep. I'll take this. I find this much more happy. And then that's the green that I use for the top part, and this leaf, the little leaf. So that is what I am currently working on, and that is living in my Whimsy Stitches bag that my friend Renee got me at SSK, because I kept eyeing it, and then I was like, no, I don't need another bag. It just makes me happy.
And then someone enabled you.
Yeah, well, someone got it for me, so it makes me happy. It's pinkalicious.
It is.
And then the other thing I have...
the show notes are way down.
Yeah, I know. But I can do it live. Is my second nomadic knit sock. This is the first. It's just a toe-up afterthought heel sock. This is sport weight. So, the other thing is being knit on size 6. I use 12-inch circulars, the Addies, for my baby hats, just because I have a lot of them and I really like them. They were actually some of the first needles I ever bought were 12-inch Addies, because I got them to do, there's a knitting book that came out in the 90s, and it was like Knitted Gifts by Joelle. It begins with an H, and there were wristers in there, and you knit them in the round, and then you knit flat for the thumb hole. Mm-hmm. And so I got 12-inch circulars to knit those, and I knit like 7 pair, and then I stopped knitting those. Anyway, this was Laura in 1999. Yeah, that was my knitting. So anyway, before I learned how to knit socks, I think it was Last Minute Knitted Gifts. I should pull that out and see what else is in there, because I have a lot of Last Minute Knitted Gifts that I could be doing. Alright, so this is Nomadic Yarns. This is the Bellatrix colorway. And here's the first one. And the second one I got just a few rows on. Still. I might not have actually put any rows on.
I was just about to say, are we sure?
I might not have.
That's okay. I won't tell. It'll just be a secret
It'll
between us.
It'll be a secret between us. Are you sure? I might have gotten a row on this. Maybe after we finished recording and I was sitting around hanging out with Leslie.
Yeah.
Because I probably didn't work on this sweater during that time.
Probably not.
Anyway, or I might have. Who knows? It's a mystery. So I'm knitting these magic loop style, toe up, and I'm using size 0 needles. Or no, I'm using size 1s. These are 1s because it's sport weight.
That's
like
right.
a true one, like a 2.25.
Yeah.
Which is probably, I need to finish these so I can use these needles to knit stars.
You're gonna knit all the stars?
All the stars. Because, well, okay, so this is kind of work in progress, kind of finished object. I'm test knitting Hunter Hammerson's new star. I think it's Tessellations is the name of it. Maybe not. I might be making that up. No, I can't remember. Anyway, it's her new little star pattern, and I have a finished one with me, but I also have a work in progress because I have one blocking at home, because you block them before you knit like the last 2 rows. You block them on the needles, and then
it's a very interesting pattern from what I've heard.
Oh, it's super clever. I was walking Leslie through it earlier, but I'll walk you guys through it too. But yeah, it's super clever. Like, her brain is amazing.
Yeah, that's true.
So I have another one on the needles out of some green vintage. Wonder where that came from.
Must have been laying around.
Just hanging out. So anyway, that's what I have on the needles, and this is hanging out in my Judgy pet squirrel bag that matches my sweater. My Judgy rabbit. Because he's super judgy. So that and plus the star are all that I have on the needles. What are you working on, friend?
Well, just before we started to record, I picked this back up. So technically,
good. Look, you got more done on that than I did on the sock, probably.
This is true. I've gotten about a row done on this since you last saw it, so I'm sure it'll look vastly different.
Well, it's been a couple weeks since we saw it, though, right?
Yeah, this is true.
So people might be new and they might not have seen it before, or they might have forgotten.
You mean people don't center their entire world on remembering what I'm crafting and where I am in that process? I don't know if my ego can take that.
I think your ego better be able to take that, because I'm pretty sure that that is not happening.
So this is Pavement, which is a pattern by Vera Valimaki. And it is a top-down sort of raglan construction, although the shoulders are more like saddle shoulders. It is being knit out of Two Guys Yarn Company in the Tweedy Toes, and it's in the Bordeaux colorway, so it's pretty true.
I can remember that colorway because it's wine. Right?
Bordeaux, yeah.
Bordeaux's wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't drink wine, but I can remember that colorway.
Because if she does, you can see her from space. Her face gets very pink.
I'm allergic to sulfides.
So.
It's super fun.
Yeah.
Everyone should be me. There's no hiding if I've had even a thimble of liquor.
People are like, are you okay?
All the time. The only thing that doesn't is like Natty Light because it's 99.9% water.
Yeah. Things without sulfides.
Yeah, and other things without sulfides.
Interesting.
I could never have hot dogs because they have high sulfide contents.
Terrible for a vegetarian.
I know.
That's how we are giving Buffy her antibiotics, is we're stuffing them inside hot dogs.
I have pill packs if you want them, because Pearl's smart enough that she figured out what they are, and now she just spits them out.
Yeah, we just have to shove them inside of the middle. Sorry, I keep doing this. Inside of the middle of hot dogs. And she doesn't stop to chew, because it smells like meat, at least. I don't know if it really is, but...
Well, the pill things seem to, too.
Yeah.
If you need them. If you want to save some hot dogs. You want to save a wiener. I've got...
This whole segment... Because when I was doing this a second ago, I was thinking about... I've been trying to watch podcasts instead of TV during the day.
Because you have double monitors
when I'm working.
now.
Yeah. And so I've been watching Sweet Tea No Shade. And this is with the two men who are married. And I believe they're in Minnesota.
I think that they are in Minnesota. Because they were in the Minnesota Yarn Crawl.
Oh, okay.
Also, somehow I ended up on their Instagram earlier today. So... That's how I knew that they were in the Minnesota Yarn Crawl.
Small world, because we had not talked about this before.
I mean, I am a stalker of many people.
This is a fact.
But usually not other podcasters. Usually it's The Rock.
But they were talking about swatching for different yarns, and one of the guys, and I'm terrible with names, I'm sorry, one of the guys was talking about how he thought if he held two yarns together, it would make a DK weight, double knitting weight, if he held two fingering weights together, but he kept saying if he held it double fingering, and he kept saying double fingering like over and over, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna lose my mind. Just because, my mind is a dirty place. He wouldn't think of that, right?
Probably not.
Because sorry for those of you who did not sign up for that conversation. It's over now and we can move past it. Anyway, this is what I'm knitting now. I'm not completely convinced about this construction. Just because of the shoulders are they go so far out versus...
But Holly already said that she could have it.
This is true. One of the ladies from my knit group already said, if this goes terribly wrong, then once I'm completely finished knitting it, she'll take it off my hands.
Yeah.
So...
That Holly, she's a sharer.
And that sort of segues into finished objects.
Uh-oh.
Because...
Does something not fit you?
I've got 2 finished sweaters this week, which will never happen again. Except maybe on the final episode of A Stash Dash again. So I finished 2 of the sweaters that I have on the needles. The first one is this Barocco Sevilla, which is out of... it's Sevilla, but it's out of Barocco Mykonos, which is a core spun yarn.
Does it not fit?
It does not.
Why does it not fit?
So, first let me talk about the process. So, you can only, with this yarn, you can really only join new skeins at the edges. So I had, dozens of ends to weave in. So that was super duper fun. Then I blocked it, I soaked it. And the water, it didn't lose any dye, but it looked like dirt almost in the water. And then I hung it to dry. And the way that I did that was I took 2 of those clippy, pants hangers.
Your skirt hangers.
That you can get from, when you buy clothes at, Old Navy or Target or whatever. And I clipped each shoulder to arm section, so there were 2. Because, most people have 2 shoulders.
Usually.
So I hung it because...
You wanted more length.
I wanted the weight of the yarn, or of the sweater, to pull a little bit and give it length, because that's how I blocked the swatch, which was basically half of the back knitted, and then I blocked it, and it grew I don't remember, 10% or something like that. Somewhere in that, I want to say maybe 10 or 12%. So I was counting on that growth, and it didn't quite do that. It didn't
quite... You can reblock it, though.
I could, but at this point, I tried it on, and it's just long enough that it won't quite fit the cropped style of, like, boxies, where it's slightly, you know, cropped above your, what I would normally wear things at. And it's not long enough to be, like, a regular sweater, at least on me. So, and the arms are pretty snug. And that may partially be because I did a tubular bind off and it's not stretchy. It's pretty, but it's not stretchy. So,
are you looking for solutions to this, or are you just done with it?
No, I'm fucking done with it.
Okay.
Sorry about that. So I'm going to take it to knit night, and if it fits anybody and they want it, they can have it.
Awesome.
Because I want it out of my life.
Can I try it on before you take it to knit night?
Of course.
Excellent.
So if it doesn't make it to knit night, ladies, you know where to go. So I finished that. I'm disappointed because I had high hopes for the yarn, but there's just too many unpredictable factors with something like this. And the swatch lied. My swatches always lie. Which is a frustration point for me. But
So did you weigh the swatch?
I didn't, like, add weight to it?
Yeah.
No, I did not.
Huh.
I just let the weight of the sweater itself pull.
And you didn't add weight to this?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Also, it took 2 days to dry. This yarn does not want to let go of moisture.
Let's correspond.
Yeah.
And you didn't, did you spin out water, or did you leave it in?
No, I did not spin the water out because my spin dryer lives underneath my kitchen table unless I need it. Because I don't have the space.
So the weight of the water should have blocked it too.
Right, it should have added that weight.
Huh.
So
that's weird.
And then my other sweater, which I just finished seaming today.
Please tell me that fits.
Sort of.
Oh.
So this one's going to get a reblock. This is Deshane, which is by Lila Rabe, I think.
Yeah.
And
a lot of people knit out of quints.
Yeah, this is knit out of Fibra Natura Good Earth, and this is the jade color. And it's got that weird thing just because of the way that I laid it to dry. That's not...
You can come block it at my house.
The fault of the thing. But, so it's got this feather and fan sort of pattern to it. And it's written to be cropped. But the versions that I've seen that the ladies at House of Yarn in Nashville made were all, you know, regular size, regular length sweaters. So that's what I did. And I chatted back and forth with Vicky.
Vicky with Noe.
Vicky with Noe, our friend in Nashville, who has knit a couple of these.
Yeah, she has.
And asked her, you know, what modifications did she make? Because I tried hers on and it looked fine. It looked good on me. So, I hung this to dry as well. And that was probably a mistake because this feather and fan has like a dip to it. And it is right in the front. And it makes me look like I have a saggy vagina.
This is like a naughty episode.
Apparently so.
We should probably...
Well, the word vagina is not a naughty word.
No. But we should probably preface this episode with...
I'll put it in the
maybe
the
not for
box.
children this week.
Yeah.
Or people who are easily offended.
So, yeah.
I feel like if you say that on the front end, though, and then people just skip a week, it'll be okay. Like, if you just say...
I'm sure it's fine.
Anyway. So that needs to be blocked flat?
It needs to be blocked.
And spun-dried, so why don't you bring it Wednesday? We'll
flat,
block it at my
so
house.
that I can sort of...
I'll
straighten out this section when it dries a little bit, so it's not quite so...
And I bet you it won't be quite as long, either, if you block it flat.
Yeah, probably not. But aside from that, it fits fine. It's got a little bit more ease than what I'm typically comfortable with, but it's designed to be that way. It's designed to have like 16 to 24 inches of positive ease. So,
and you did like 12, right?
Yeah. I think Eloise could probably fold her entire self into this thing, because it's pretty large.
Like she could get into
like
a ball.
she could, yeah. I'm pretty sure that would work fine. But yeah, I liked working with the yarn. It was crazily splitty. It's like 50-50 linen and cotton. and the plies were very easy to separate. But other than that, it was actually really easy to knit with. So I really don't have too many complaints about that. But yeah, so huzzah.
Huzzah.
I finished a sweater, and now I feel like...
You finished 2 sweaters, friend.
That's true.
And now you feel like what? Have you lost your sweater mojo?
Definitely.
Okay.
To some degree I have. And I've just sort of lost...
I feel like that's something that's going to happen when you have one not successful sweater and one meh sweater.
Moderately, yeah.
Yeah, I think when we reblock it Wednesday, you'll like it a lot better.
And there's nothing that's like burning that I need to cast on right now. So I think what I'm going to do is just sort of handle my stash until something inspires me.
I like that Volan bar that's behind me.
Yeah.
That inspired me when I saw it when I walked in. So are you thinking like, well, there was that thread that we did where people posted a lot of 2-color and 3-color shawls.
I added several to my queue.
I also think going through, we need to go through the Stash and do like a best of Stash this weekend. So I think that might be super inspiring too. True. Not to steal your thunder, but I finished a sweater and it fits.
You did. It looks great on you.
Thank you. So this is the...
I like that you kept the neck the way that she said.
I shortened the neckline. So this is the summer, simple summer tweed top-down V-neck out of Madeline Tosh Vintage in the Grey Gardens colorway. Modifications that I made would be, I did not get gauge. I might now, though. Now that I've blocked it, it might be gauge. But I did not. I was, instead of 16 stitches to the inch, I got 20.
Not to the inch, to the 4 inches.
To the 4 inches. So I don't know how this still fits me. I cast on a 48 and I'm a 46, and it's pretty much like maybe half an inch positivity. So it's definitely missing like that 2 inches of positive ease, but I'm okay with it. I did alternating skeins because this is Madeline Tosh, so it's a hand-dyed fiber. And I wanted to make sure I didn't have, like, crazy
I saw you
runs.
look at my sweater when you just said that.
I wasn't actually looking at your sweater. That's not alternated. But whatever. To each their own. I knew from past sweaters that the sleeves that I've knit out of this, that the sleeves would grow. They didn't actually grow that much. They grew maybe half an inch. So I had knit my sleeves like half an inch shorter than I knew that they were going to be, and I'm happy with that. I was afraid that I was going to have to roll them up, but I totally don't. The V-neck, and I did ribbing on the sleeves and the bottom, and it calls for what's on the V-neck. The V-neck, I wanted a deeper V-neck, because I tried it on several times, and I wanted something like, obviously, this is, I think, is a good V-neck. Mm-hmm. It's like a little bit of clavicle. Also, this is not how I would wear this sweater out. I would just put like a tank top underneath it probably. But I was at work and then through the sun once I got here because it's warm in a gym where girls are playing volleyball. I did 5 rows and then bound off. I did not do how she said to pick up. I picked up 4 stitches per 5 rows, and then every row on the back, because I like that. I think she said like 6 out of 7, so I altered that a little bit. I only knit 5 rows and then bound off on the 6. She has you knit 8 rows and then bind off, but I didn't want this super high. The bind off that I used was the through the back loop. Mm-hmm. So it's not super stretchy, but that's okay. I don't, like, it was big enough for me to get my head through. I used size 4s for the neckline, size 6s for the body of the sweater, size 5s on the cuff. I used the 4s because I had Jimmy Bean's 4s that just arrived, and they were sitting there, and I was like, meh. Because I didn't want the neckline to be super high. I had a crap ton of ends to weave in, and stitch markers. I used stitch markers to mark the decreases on the sleeves, and I took all those out, and I'm glad I did because you can definitely see the line, so it was good to keep up with that. I think that's about it. When I blocked it for width and not length because I was happy with the length and I didn't want it to grow that way, but I did want a little bit more room, and it definitely has room up here. and room here. Oh, I also, instead of doing a waist, I just did increases because my biggest area is right here, and so I wanted to add a little bit more fabric there. I'm super glad I did. I increased probably an extra 20 stitches, so like 4 inches, because that gave me, because I'm definitely like skinnier up top, like triangle shape, wider at the bottom. I think that's about it. I use my Licca needles for everything except for the Jimmy Beans at the cuff and my signature double points, and I thought I lost signature double point, so I only had 4 for this sleeve, but then I found it and then I had 5 for the sleeve. It got mixed up with some other signature double points. I think that's it. I'm really happy with it. I have another sweater lot of vintage, but in the tart colorway, so this is like old. I'm super happy that this summer I seem to move out a lot of old stash.
Yeah.
So the 3 big things that I did this summer, like big project wise, was I did Goldfish Memories, and that used up some stash that was like 3 to 4 years old, and I think that was all 3 to 4 years old. I know the Plucky was.
The Emma's wasn't, but
the Emma's wasn't, but the rest I think was.
The Moon River was a couple of years.
Oh yeah, the Moon River was a couple of years. Emma's was new. Plucky was it? Is that just a 3-color shawl? Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Plucky was older. And then I did the purple sweater, which was all brand new yarn. And then this was like, I think I got this yarn in like.
What purple sweater?
The linen one, the linen cotton.
Oh, Jesse's Girl.
Jesse's Girl. I did 2 sweaters this summer, just more. So I'm on 3 sweaters for the year.
I did 2 sweaters this summer too.
Yeah. Well, you're in a 3rd sweater too.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I bet you, if you haven't decided what you're gonna knit next, you'll totally rock that out. Oh, I have something else to show you guys. I've been knitting Wee Little Stars. Boop. Did you see it? It's 3-dimensional. Isn't that cute? So this is Hunter Hammerson's new pattern that I've been oohing and eyeing about. I'm one of her testers. So this was Malabrigo Rios on size 1.5 needles. So worsted on 1.5s. And you can still see the fiber fill threads.
Just at the very center.
So, no, you can see it through all the way. I can. It's where I switch from pearls to knit stitches. I can see it. But I tried first knitting one of these with hand spun that was more thick and thin, because it was old hand spun. That did not work because you're doing center double decreases, and it was not kind on my hands at all to try to get hand, and like, because the hand spun was also kind of splitty. So then I went into my I have a lot of superwash merino scraps that I keep all in one bag together, and I use them to knit baby hats or stripes on baby hats. So I went into this because this only requires like 20 yards of yarn. It's really, really clever. So you split the ball in half and you leave it connected in the middle, and you do Judy's Magic Cast On. So half your yarn is on one side, half is on the other, so that you don't have to then weave in an extra end. There's only 2 ends to weave in on this whole thing.
Just in the centers?
Yep, just in the centers. So this side is Judy's Magic Cast On. Then you knit up to the middle. So you put it all in double points, 6 double points, because there's 5 star wedges. This was the 100 stitch star. There's 140 and 180 as well. But I like little things. So then you knit to the middle using center double decreases. You, like the top of a hat, then you flip it over and pick up the other half of the stitches that are live. They're on a circular, and just do the same. And when you get to there's like 2 rows left, you block it. You just stick your double points in the yarn and water, and then you block it out. Then you put fiber fill in it after it's dry, and you do the last couple of rows. Then you have a wee little star, and it just makes me happy. It makes me super happy. So I have this one done, and I have another out of this color vintage that's blocking right now. This is a stockinette version. She also has a reverse stockinette one, And ribbed. My second one's a ribbed. Also 100 stitches. So, yay! That's what I got. These are my 2 finished objects. So that makes me happy.
Very cute.
Yeah, sweet. It'll be a good ornament or something.
You should knit dozens of them.
I kind of want it. So I kind of, in my head, what I would love to do is do like an advent across my fireplace and do like 24 mittens, and in between all the mittens put either this or a heart. But that's crazy pants.
Not unless you made it into like an owl or something, would you ever do that?
Yeah, I know. So I haven't decided on my owl, and I only have 4 options left. I only have 4 owls left.
What are the general ideas of them?
So one, I can either knit a cloak. Not gonna happen.
So an owl is an online thing for imaginary points, and it's Harry Potter themed, and there's a group on Ravelry called Harry Potter Knit and Crochet House Cup.
And so,
you're not gonna knit a cloak.
I'm not gonna knit a cloak. The other option for that is to knit something you really, really dislike. So I could knit a bunch of these because they're teeny tiny.
I was gonna say that would fit the bill.
Or I could knit my niece's bright pink sweaters. Because I already bought the yarn for their bright pink sweaters.
I still think you should do this because it's cuter and it would live with you.
I know, but I want to knit my niece's Christmas sweaters this year, so I could, like, bang those out and they'd be done. And then I wouldn't be stressing last minute on getting stuff knit.
You do whatever you want.
Other options that I have left is astronomy, so knit a star chart. And I really want to knit,
Would these count for astronomy? Because they're stars?
Oh my gosh.
I think it's fate.
Oh. I don't know, they could. Okay, so that's a thought. And then, but I really want to knit, what is it, Southern Skies? It's that big shawl where it's got the...
Celestarium?
Yes, and then the Australian version of that is Southern Skies. But I want to do the Celestarium. That was Southern Skies.
It's got beads in the place of where constellations are.
I know, I want to knit that. And then, but I want to get the right color of Volmai's lace for that, and I don't have it. Like, I want, like, a navy blue, like I knit your, wedding shawl out of.
The woman.
And then Irene Adler. Yep. The woman.
Mm-hmm.
She is the woman from Sherlock Holmes.
That's what she's called, the woman.
And then the other ones that I have left, maybe I just have 3 left. I might just have 3. I'll have to look. Is knit something. It's the one that I failed last fall, which was divination, like knit your dream projects.
Oh, yeah.
And I was knitting, whatchamacallit, out of hand-spun lace.
Star.
Yeah. I really need to get back on that. I should have finished that over the summer, but I did not. I'm just not in the right place for intricate lace right now in my life.
I understand that.
So those are the 3 out of 12 that I have left. I might have a 4th, but I think I'm down to 3 now. Maybe I have 4. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. They keep track on, like, a spreadsheet for you.
If those people don't get paid, I have no idea why they do what they do.
They're amazing.
They are amazing because they, like...
So I signed up for something with that.
They put a lot of time into that.
So I signed up to be a mentor to a firstie, like a newbie.
What does that entail? Just, like, chatting with them about...
Yeah,
okay.
And if they have any questions, answering. So I need to send her a check-in email. Maybe I'll gift her a pattern, because that's kind. And Amy Florence talked about my little nonsense hat on her podcast.
She did.
So I sold a couple patterns. So I have money in my PayPal.
Huzzah!
I know. It's super exciting. Until Ravelry figures out that I have money in my PayPal, that I've sold some patterns. And then I will have less money in my PayPal. So silly. But yeah, itty bitty stars. They're super cute. I want to knit them all. I think they'd be cute, like, as a there's so many ways I could use these, I feel like, in my life. Like, as a mobile.
Mm-hmm.
A mobile.
And you could just knit them individually and then change out the project that you use them in.
Oh, yeah.
Because just string yarn through it.
Yeah, for packaging for a present. You could do these as cat toys. Just add a little catnip.
Mm-hmm.
You can make them into, like, throwing stars if you have a ninja child.
This is true.
or just things to throw.
You could be hardcore and do them as like a beekeeper blanket. And that would be a true tessellation.
Oh, that would be amazing.
That would be really hardcore, though.
That would be really and you'd have to... So she put a blocking template in the pattern.
You'd have to be very precise.
Which I did not use, but I was thinking, I got this, like, plastic stuff to trace to make mitten blockers a couple of years ago. But that would be awesome to make... Well, you couldn't pin through it. Never mind. What could you use? Wax paper for that?
Cardboard.
Yeah.
Although it would get soggy.
Yeah. Wax paper, though.
Yeah.
You just have to make sure the Sharpie doesn't run.
You could use the plastic and then just, like, cut out the tip, like the top little bit.
Yeah, or get Michael, like, you could get hardcore plastic, like what they use for quilters rulers. And, yeah, like, have it go to a point where there's, it's all still together.
Or you could have the shape cut out in it so that it fits perfectly in there. In the hole, like a negative space.
Oh, yeah. You'd have to do a bunch of them for different sizes, though. Because it's like the pattern for the blocking comes in like 8 different sizes.
That's
but
true.
That would be super smart, too. Give him Michael jobs.
He would happily do it.
He would probably do it out of wood, though, because that would probably be easier for him. Which, if the outside's not getting wet, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Huh.
Anyway.
These are all options and great ideas for knitting little stars. Hunter said the pattern will be available in September, which is coming up soon.
It is.
And I knit her little heart pattern, too, earlier this year.
You did.
So, that was super fun, too. So now I have stars and hearts. Yes. Makes me happy. I don't know what I'm going to do with my little star. Maybe I'll give it to someone who's splendid at work and tell them they're my star. I have a secret pal at work, so we're doing, like, the secret pal things. I got the woman who runs secret pals.
Oh.
So...
No pressure.
No pressure. Don't miss a week.
Oh, it's a weekly thing?
Well, it's not supposed to be, but she highly recommends you do it weekly.
Wow.
And because she's in charge of it, I'm just gonna, like... get her cute paper clips and stuff. I'm not going, like, I'm doing like $5 a week. Oh, and she always comes up and says, I love your scarf. And on her paper she put that she would love a scarf.
A hand knit something.
Well, she just said that she loves scarves. So I think I'm gonna knit her a scarf for like the big end thing. She really likes my Dwayne Park triangle.
You like knitting those?
I do like knitting those. They're like my go-to pattern. I think you would like knitting if you get bored and you need something to knit.
Oh, I mean, I have.
It's a 2-color. It's super fun.
I have a lot of things I want to knit. It's just nothing is like at the moment.
Siren calling you.
Yeah, nothing is just like you must make me.
I understand.
So
really, I don't, because I've got like a bazillion things on the needles. You can always just cast on a pair of socks.
I could.
That's my like. Have no mojo.
Palette cleanser.
Or, you could pick out something to knit for Sadie.
Oh yeah, actually have picked out the cutest little hat with little bear ears on it.
Super cute.
And it was a free pattern on Ravelry too, but, they don't know the sex of the baby yet, so.
I think that's a good gender neutral one.
Oh yeah, and plus, Sadie and Porter will be very, like, non-traditional with colors.
Yeah, they're super more punk rock, so like if I was gonna knit a blanket for them, I think I have 3 skeins of gray vintage that I could use that they would be totally down with. Also, gray doesn't show stains, and it's the best color.
It is the best color.
Science is proven.
Let's see, reading.
So,
because neither one of us has spun.
Nope.
Which is really unusual for Laura. This is the longest she's gone without spinning for...
probably 10 years.
Yeah, a long, long time.
But it is what it is. Like, I wanted to keep the sweater mojo going while I had it and get it done.
You ride that train, baby.
Yep. But I think I'm going to ply, starting tomorrow, some stuff that I have. Single wash. I might go home and ply so I get to count it towards dash dash. You should wind off that bobbin that I just brought you. That you...
I didn't spin it, though.
Yeah, you can't count it for session. Sorry. Hey, Leslie's got a bobbin sitting right there that she's not showing you.
Oh, well, Laura spun the singles, and then I applied it because I just wanted to play with the thick and thin technique.
It's Hello Yarn. It's from one of her grab bags. What do we call those?
Paint box?
Nope. Paint box is Kimber Fiber Optic. And those are gradients. What does she call them? Patchwork kits.
Patchwork. Yeah, there you go.
Begin with a P. You were close. So I spun it thick and thin, and Leslie wanted to play with it. That would make good baby hats, too, I bet.
Yeah.
That'd be fun, if there's enough there.
Yeah, I need to wind it off.
So I did, a patchwork one thing from there, and then I had, some Into the World left over from a class with Jillian Marino, and that's the other half. So it's not the same all the way through.
I want to get you to spin me some lace weight, some 2-ply lace weight.
Okay.
In, like, long repeats of color. Doesn't have to be anything fancy.
Okay.
I'll show you after this. There's a couple of Kieran Foley shawls I want to knit.
Okay.
But I don't want to have to spin the yarn that fast.
Okay. I want a Halloween quilt.
So
I bet we can make a trade.
Halloween quilt. I
do.
should finish your birthday/Christmas quilt
You
from last
should.
year.
And then make me a Halloween quilt. For the Halloween craft all the things.
Maybe I'll quilt this week.
That'd be good.
Because I'm just doing straight line quilting on that one.
Yeah,
so.
and Sarah, our friend Sarah, has been posting her stars.
Yeah. Which is way fancier than what I have energy for at the moment. But okay, so for books, I am still listening to the 3rd series. I'm on the 4th book, which is Rack and Ruin. I have to take a break from it because it is a male-male romance with a shifter element to it, which is
kind
fine.
of, yeah.
But it's a lot more like detective policey stuff.
It's a lot more action.
Yeah.
Detective forensics
than
crime
than
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So
the romance is the side, and it's not very graphic. I feel like.
No. Which is
I was
fine.
trying to remember.
But the when
is that fine?
when it comes to stuff like fight scenes or forensic pathology or stuff like
medical
that,
examiner stuff.
You could have 20 pages of amazing literary prose and just skip it and just tell me what the outcome was. I don't care. I don't care who hit who or it's
Leslie doesn't like things like Midsummer Murder Mystery. She doesn't like any murder mysteries.
I don't know
like
that I've
NCIS.
ever watched an episode of Law and Order.
Well, I don't like Law and Order.
I just don't care.
But I really liked NCIS.
Or NCIS, yeah. I liked Broadchurch, which was the British one with the guy who was in Doctor Who.
It's the child that goes missing.
Yeah. But that was more drama than...
I bet you would like Vera, too.
Maybe. But anyway, so I'm listening to that, and I also started Iron and Magic, which is the spin-off from the Kate Daniels series with Huge Ombre.
Are you reading or listening?
I'm listening, and the first hour was kind of tough to get through because it was a lot of, Hugh soul-searching after he was...
I don't like Hugh.
Sort of cut off from... Well, and I'm, I don't know, a third of the way
He's
through
like
it.
an anti-hero.
Yeah, and he embraces that.
He messed up, and he's a jerk. But he was also, linked to the evil bad guy. He was, his...
With the power of, a god that sustained him.
Yeah, his boss was Darth Vader.
Right.
And, he kept him alive for...
Decades.
Centuries, yeah. Yeah, probably centuries.
Well, no, because he's only been there since the newest.
The newest cycle.
Yeah.
And so he kept him young, I guess, and now he's lost that. Does he age, or does he stay?
He's supposed to be beginning to age, but...
Okay. But it stopped it until that point.
The whole thing, and they talk about it a little in the book, him being connected to this person with, godlike power was...
Old Testament God.
Being constantly sort of bathed in sunlight, and then he was sort of excised out because he disappointed, the bad guy. And so he's just cut him out like a cancer, and so now, his entire life for decades has been doing this guy's work, and now he doesn't know what he's, what to do with himself. So
it's a soul search.
To some degree, yeah. And so they introduce a new female character whose power, like,
is she also an anti-hero?
No.
Okay.
No. I can't really tell yet what her deal is, because it's very cloaked in secrecy. So, I mean, it's a pretty good book so far. The first hour was a little much to get through, because it was a lot of, like, him figuring his life out.
Was he moping? Because I can't handle that.
To the first 20 minutes or so, yeah. But not in a, like,
woe is
me. It was like, where's the alcohol? I want to drink myself to death, you know.
Okay, it's not like Bella from Twilight.
No.
My life is so difficult.
Although every one of those movies is now on Amazon Prime, and Amazon Prime is insistent that I need to watch them.
Oh.
So.
That's unfortunate. Jack Ryan is also going to be on Amazon Prime, I hear.
Yeah, that's the Tom Cruise one, right?
Tom Clancy.
Oh. Jack Reacher is Tom Cruise. Well, I can't remember who the actor is in them, though.
Okay. Tom Clancy was the author who's passed away.
I can't remember.
It was like Patriot Games with Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford played Jack Ryan, who's the main character of the Tom Clancy books most of the time.
So I'm still reading the Rosemary and Rue, which is the October Day series, and I finished the first book in the Rise of the Illyri series, which is by Audrey Hadley, and it's an epic fantasy, I guess. And the concept is there's humans, and then there's this other species called Illyri that have like white skin and ears that sit on top of their head, like a dog's ears that can like swivel around, and it's considered a reverse harem.
Yeah.
So there's like one woman and several men that not necessarily all sexual partners, but like the support structure for her. The first one was pretty interesting, so I'll keep reading because they're Kindle Unlimited, so they cost me nothing.
That's not true. They cost you $10 a month.
Right. But, and you just love arguing with me.
I do. It's my favorite, but also that wasn't a true statement.
I had the barely controllable urge to lean over and just lick up the side of her face.
I will be happy to give you my colds.
To irritate her.
I would love to share germs with you right now.
That's it. What about you? You have a book in your lap.
I do have a book in my lap. So I'm reading a book at work, and somehow I never connected these two authors are the same people. So I'm reading Be Prepared, which is a graphic novel, middle age. I'm also still reading Front Desk, which I've gotten to a really good part, and I'm almost done with it. But those are both middle grade. Be Prepared is about a young Vera who immigrates from Russia, and all her friends every summer go away to summer camp, and her mom's a single mom. They can't afford to send her and her brother anywhere. Like, all her friends have American Girl dolls, and she plays with Barbie. And so she wants more than anything in the world to kind of like fit in, and she's also like Russian Orthodox, so she feels like, and she's immigrated from Russia, so she feels like she doesn't fit in that way either. So her church has kind of like a program where she can go to a church summer camp, a Russian Orthodox church summer camp, and all she hears about from her friends is like how they go and learn horseback riding or tennis, or it's like a very Parent Trap type camp, which is something I actually worked at when I was in college. And she goes to this Russian Orthodox church camp, and there's no running water or electricity. It's just a camp in the middle of the woods. So like her expectations are not being met, and it makes it very funny. If you are a fan of graphic novels like Roller Girls, Sunny Side Up, by Jennifer Holm, or I think Roller Girls is by Victoria Avard, and then any of the Rena Tellmeyers, that would be a good choice. But I never connected that woman with this woman, who's on Ravelry. So this is a fellow knitter.
You have to do a close-up of this lady.
I am.
She's making me laugh.
She's very funny. So this is Leave Me Alone. It's by Vera Broskell. And she's on Ravelry. She's a knitter. And you can definitely tell it in this book because it is about an older woman, a grandma, who's got a sack of yarn. She lived in a small village in a small house with lots and lots of grandkids.
I can't see it. Oh my god.
It's a very big family. And winter was coming and she had some very important knitting to do, but it wasn't getting done because her grandchildren are very curious about her knitting. Were you supposed to hit the ball with a stick? Could you eat it? Could you make your brother eat it? That's my favorite part because it's so something that we would do to Beck. Why does the ball get smaller and smaller as you chase it? She was at the end of her rope. And so she goes on this quest to leave her family behind, and she keeps telling them to leave me alone. And ends up at one point in outer space, and the aliens won't leave her alone, so she ends up in a black hole.
Wow.
Where she knits all her sweaters, and then she goes back home.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. It was called a honor book, which is awesome. In the back it says Vera lives in Portland, Oregon, and at last count has knitted 22 sweaters.
No.
Which makes me super happy. But she also drew the storyboards for Coraline, Paranorman, Norman, and the Box Trolls, which is super cool. And Anya's Ghost, which is her other graphic novel, is awesome, so I never connected those two. So this has been on my list to order for a while, and now that I'm tutoring a little one, I totally was like, yes, I'm getting that book, because we're going to work on cause and effect and sequence of events with it. So I think it would be good for both of those. So if you're looking for a very funny antithesis to extra yarn,
I feel like this is going to be the screenshot. Just it says me. It just says leave me alone.
I feel like I wish you could do. So there's this thing where you wait. See, like I'm saying it.
Thought bubble.
Maybe this way. I don't know. That's really funny. So there's this thing where you can like take selfies with books where it looks like you're the character in the book or whatever, but in that looks like a speech bubble. But yeah, and it's got little balls of yarn all along the outside, which makes me super happy as well. So it's super cute. And it's opposite of extra yarn where like she keeps knitting for everyone else and is super like selfless. This is she's still knitting for her grandkids. So it's selfless knitting.
But she wants them to get off her lawn.
They need to leave her alone so she can get it done. So yeah, that's what I've been reading. Super cute. Leave Me Alone by Vera Broskell. Also, Be Prepared and Anya's Ghost, which are her graphic novels, are super cute, but middle grade, probably 5th grade and up. Anyway.
I love the dichotomy of the things we're reading.
Yeah. Well, that's always, I mean, once school starts back, like,
yeah.
I feel like I should have read more in the summer, but I just read all the Rick Riordans or listened to them all. So now I'm like back in the swing of, but for doing cause and effect and sequence of events, that's a good one. Also now, like, anytime I read a picture book, I'm like, what can we teach with this?
How can I use this?
Yeah, so ruining the joy. And this one's good for repetition, and the one that I talked about, Penelope the dinosaur, Don't Eat Your Classmates, that was perfect for repetition, because it was like, Penelope loves ponies are delicious, and like that, whatever is, children are delicious, and then at the end, it's dinosaurs are delicious.
Yeah.
So it's very funny. I'm gonna let you read that after we get done podcasting. So that is what I'm reading. We have some things to talk about. So Stash Dash is over as of tonight. I told people that I would give them 24 hours to post things before I locked the thread, because that was a request.
Of you.
So I'm going to do that. I'm probably going to lock it Wednesday morning. It's been tons of fun. And I'm following the hashtag on Instagram, and that's lots of fun too, because people in the last like 48 hours have been posting like finished. This is everything that I finished. And that's been super fun to watch, too.
So what was your finished yardage?
I don't know. I haven't.
Oh, okay.
I'm one of those people that needs 24 hours.
Oh.
But also, I need to look back through my meterage, because it's meters.
Oh, well, I have no idea what mine... my yardage was around 7,800. I estimated because I was not going to get everything out and weigh it. So I just did, like, general estimates. I didn't go crazy. So
that's awesome.
I had the fade, I had goldfish memory, I had a couple of hats, a pair of socks, 2 sweaters, and some spinning.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I ended up with around 7,800, which is good. I wanted to be somewhere between 5 and 7K.
You're probably there.
I'm probably at about 7K, yeah. I would guess somewhere in there. Because I don't know the meterage to yardage, or yardage to meterage.
It's 7 yards difference. Like, you subtract 7 per 100.
Let's see if Siri can do this.
I think.
Convert 7,800 yards. Shut up.
You just asked her to talk to you.
Convert 7,800 yards to meters.
The answer is 7,132.32
There you go.
meters.
7,100 meters.
Good for you.
So, yeah.
Excellent job, kiddo.
But yeah, Laura and I are still have to go through and like pick out.
We're gonna do a
Hall of Fame kind of thing, and we'll show that next week on the podcast, as well as gifting a few folks patterns that just have really great projects or great staging. Or
we've been gifting as we've been going, but yeah, definitely.
We still have the striped sock yarn.
Yep. I put up the prize for this month. The prize for this month is some blueberry lemonade sock
soap
from Tuft Woolens that I got at SSK. It smells delicious and it's perfect for the last days of summer.
Martha with Tuft Woolens is lovely, and all of her scents are
amazing.
Yeah, they're all very different, but they're all like soft and kind of.
They're not like super in your face,
right?
But if you win and you are allergic to scent, I do have some of her unscented sock soap as well still. Cool. So, I'll be happy to fall on that sword and put that back in my stuff.
So we'll pull for that in
probably,
a week or two.
Yeah, next week.
And then we have a giveaway to talk about, and then a Patreon thing to talk about.
So the giveaway that's coming up is, we're going to open this tomorrow. It is an awesome giveaway, y'all. Yes. I'm super jealous that you guys can win this and we cannot. It is for Gail's Art Advent Calendar, so this is around a $200 value.
Yeah, it's listed for $195 in her shop.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's 24 mini sock blanks, right? And then
of about 90-ish yards each.
One larger sock blank. And then she's doing, like, little presents too, like stitch markers and stuff to unwrap.
Yeah, and each of the sections of sock blank, you know, will have their own designs and pattern and color story. Yeah. And Gail is very thoughtful.
Sock blank guru,
she is.
Too.
We did surveys for all of our attendees, and Gail taught sock blanks as a class, dyeing sock blanks. Yeah. And everyone had fantastic things to say about her. So
yeah, she's awesome.
She knows her stuff. She does great clubs and stuff. And so this is an Advent calendar with, like Laura said, 24 like mini sock blanks that are around 90-ish yards a piece, and then a bigger one. So it's somewhere in the neighborhood of like 2,500 yards altogether, and
the little extras as well. So it retails for $195. She's giving one away to you all. We're gonna have a thread on Ravelry, and you're gonna help her actually choose images that are going to inspire her for this calendar. So you're gonna post your favorite Christmas image in the giveaway thread on Ravelry, and we've linked to the sock blank calendar
in the show notes.
Yeah, and that goes down, I think, on the 14th of September is the last day that you can buy it. So, that way, we're going to leave the thread open until not next Sunday, but the following Sunday. So that gives you enough time to enter, and then if you don't win and you still want to purchase, you can.
Right. So is it one image per person? I know it's one entry per person.
It's one post per person. You can post a couple images if you want.
Let's put a max on it though.
Yeah, let's do like 3 at most.
Okay, so no more than 3 images, all in the same post.
Yeah, because you're only getting one entry. No multiple entries.
You have to be a member of the group to win.
Yep. Our Ravelry group.
Ravelry group.
Which is one of the largest podcast ones out there, which is super cool.
We've been doing this for a long time.
We have.
And for some reason, people just keep on coming back. Thank you, by the way. We appreciate that. So we were stoked that Gail asked us to give this away.
Oh, yeah.
And
super jealous at the same time.
Laura and I kind of both want this for ourselves. So, so we hope that whoever wins it really enjoys it. And then the last...
How did you not enjoy it?
Right? The struggle would be to not open all the packages on the first day. Because it all comes in one box. Yeah. Like, you don't get a new package every day. God, what a shipping nightmare that would be.
Oh, yeah. It totally would be.
So the last thing I wanted to talk about was this kind of crazy idea that I expected Laura to shoot down really quickly that did not get shot down.
I don't know why. I must have been high on cold medicine.
I think that could have been it. So, Laura and I like to watch these baking shows.
But also total fail shows.
Yeah. So, there's a show on Netflix called Nailed It. And it basically, the premise is they're all like home cooks. None of them are professional. Well, theoretically.
Yeah. None of them are professional. They're professional at destroying stuff, maybe.
So, they're presented with this really cool, like, creation out of fondant.
Yeah, like Pinterest. Terrific.
Yeah, really fancy, cake or cake pops or some kind of dessert thing.
Uh-huh.
And they're asked to replicate it in a certain time frame. And it's essentially Pinterest fails.
Yeah.
Reality TV. So... Laura and I thought it would be funny to do something kind of like that.
We've also been watching Making It, where they have, where they are all professionals, but one lady who was off on the first episode, and they're given challenges, and they have to put their own creative spin on them.
So we've been inspired, because we've been watching a lot of these sort of themed shows.
And we're also going to watch Ultimate Beastmaster, but we're not going to be inspired by that.
That comes out in 4 days.
Yes.
Yeah, we're suckers for that, because we're like, I totally could have made that jump.
I could not make any... that's all her. I'm like, no. Absolutely not. Where's my harness? Why would I not be in a harness? No, that is not going to happen.
Beastmaster's kind of like American Gladiators, sort of, but
Ninja,
everything is solo.
warrior.
Yeah. It's like an obstacle course where you really need, like, parkour and
rock
climbing and a lot of upper body strength.
And to be physically fit.
Yeah, this is also important, yeah. But it's pretty entertaining.
If you like watching people fall off of stuff. It's kind of like Wipeout meets American Ninja Warrior. There you go.
That is not what we'll be doing.
No.
Because nobody needs to see that.
No, that's not happening.
But we are willing to sort of make an idiot of ourselves trying to do something fancy, like some sort of Pinterest random...
Like the unicorn
crafts
cake?
Or baking or all sorts of things. So I've started a Pinterest board, and I'll link it in the show notes. But what we're going to do is...
for our Patreons.
Yeah, for our Patreon supporters. And Patreon is a website that allows people to support their favorite creators, whether it's musicians or artists or podcasters, where you can pledge X amount per episode or per month or whatever. And so what we'll do is we're going to do a live stream. We're going to start with the hope of doing one a month. I don't know how realistic that is. We'll see. But we're going to do a live stream where we try to replicate, some random Pinterest stuff.
Yeah.
Or a recipe, or something we saw in the Great British Bake Off, or Zimbo's Just Desserts.
It doesn't have to be baking.
It doesn't have to be. No, those are just the things that come to mind. I found some cool, like, alcohol-fired art on Pinterest, and where you, like, set it on fire. It's kind of cool.
Okay. I'll be wearing 100% wool suits that day.
But there's also lots of cool different crafts and stuff that we can do. So we're going to...
and if you're interested in supporting us on Pinterest, there is
Patreon.
our Patreon, thank you. There's a link in the upper right-hand corner of our website.
Yes.
TheKnitGirlls.com.
I'll put a link in the show notes here as well. We appreciate all of you who are Patreon supporters or have been in the past.
And we appreciate everyone who watches
we
us,
do.
too.
You have a lot of options for your time nowadays.
Yep.
So we appreciate you spending that time with us. And as a thank you, we're going to be complete idiots for you more frequently.
Yeah, I was like, that's every week, but thank you.
Yeah, so we'll live stream that to people at least the first time and see how that goes.
Yeah.
It's a learning curve, so we'll see.
Everything's a learning curve. Life's a learning curve.
That is a fact. I think that's it, though.
Awesome.
Laura's like, I'm sick, I want to go home.
I want to go home and go to
bed.
bed. That's totally what's going to happen, because it's 8:30 almost our time. And Pearl's gonna be like, so I've noticed when Pearl, like, when I'm at work, so I went from work to volleyball to here, she has had no entertainment all day. She's not crated, she's, like, free range.
Yeah.
So she's got Humberto for entertainment, who
but
goes
Humberto
someplace
doesn't pet her.
Yeah, goes someplace where she is not.
Yeah.
And she tends to wake me up 7 or 8 times a night, because Pyrenees are nocturnal to begin with. And when she sleeps all day, then she's like, hey lady, did you know that there might be possums outside? I like possums, they're super fun to chase. We should totally go outside right now.
Hey lady, are you alive?
Hey lady,
I just want to check.
Hey lady, it's time to pet the dog.
Yeah.
Hey lady,
the cat's in your room.
Those possums are still outside. We should definitely go check.
Hey lady, is it okay if I go get some water? Hey lady,
I'm gonna pee on the floor because you're not paying attention to me. That's what happened 2 weeks ago, and I was like, dude. That happened last week when I had that week of...
Yeah. Alright, so...
she never has... That's like her third accident ever, but it was like a vindictive...
She's learning from Humberto.
Yeah, I want to go chase the possums, and you've not let me outside to chase the possums. What is wrong with you? Also, I keep her on a leash at night. I don't actually allow her to chase the possums. Because we've played that game before. And I'm waiting for her 45 minutes later to come back inside. It's not that I'm concerned about the welfare of the possums. I'm concerned about my sanity and having to get between a dog and a possum. Anyway, there you go. That's my life in a nutshell.
So that's it for this week. We hope you guys have a lovely week, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.